So the book sale is by Hey Tavis a few weeks after this, and you can really find out deep Hasidic concepts, and you can apply them to your life, so that the way you look at life and the way you're living your life becomes different, becomes more spiritually focused, becomes more meaningful, becomes more than just day to day living. By the way, there's a lot of free chassidus online. If you don't have money, you can't afford a new book. It's no reason not to study. If you go to sichasinenglish.org/books, I'll put the link on the description of this video. There's a lot of free chassidus online. There's no reason not to be learning and expanding your horizons. Because life can basically be one month after another year after another. You ever know some people, they do not get more interesting as life goes on. They stay the same. They don't learn new things. They're not focused in directions of growth and outreach and expansion, consciousness expansion. Some people just like to be the same and are not comfortable with growth. I don't know how to address those types of people in this type of address, but basically, what's the point if you're going to be the same person this year as you're going to be as you're going to be before? The most precious gift God gave man was the intellect, and when man chooses, there's so many things that a man could choose to focus his intellect on. He could choose on art. He can choose literature. He can choose when he chooses godly concepts, especially as espoused in Chassidus and Chassidic doctrine. His whole world opens up, his mind opens up, and his soul opens up. And the only way to really tell you about it, unfortunately, you can't describe it, you can't give it over. Not even a poet could do it successfully, because basically it changes you. It changes the person. It changes his outlook. It changes his mental experience in the world around him. It changes his vitality. It changes his energy level. It changes everything about him to the point where he's totally raptured with this newfound love and appreciation of his invisible creator, his invisible maker. And it's one of those things that I can't sell to you. I can only tell you where to find it and how to get it, and I can encourage you to go down that path. And Yud Tes Kislev is an auspicious time. It happens today, I guess, is December 9th, I believe. So 9 plus 7, 16. So it's going to be December 16th this year. Use it, utilize it. Don't let it come and go without making at least one positive directive in your life as to how you can expand your Hasidic way of life. Hasidic doctrine, the two main focuses of it, as espoused to the Baal Shem Tov by his father when he was about to pass away. Baal Shem Tov's father, he was 5 years old at the time. He told him, love every Jew with all your heart, regardless of who they are, and fear only God above. This was the charge, the mission given to the Baal Shem Tov by his father when he was only 5 years old and his father was on his deathbed. And it was with this charge that he came to affect an entire generation and many, many generations afterwards in their service of God. And the one outstanding thing is this love of a fellow Jew, which is something in those days wasn't such a given, because there were many Jews who were ignoramuses, and the intellectual elite didn't know how to treat them. They thought treating them as second-class citizens was acceptable. Baal Shem Tov was the one who kind of reestablished this eternal connection between every single Jew and God, to the point where don't discount even a simple person who's not keeping Torah mitzvahs. He still has the soul in him, and he's still a piece of God vested in a human body, and he's still godly. So Baal Shem Tov was this one to reinstate this passion, this vigor towards between Jews and their fellows, regardless of spiritual standing. And the fear of only God, basically, his great grandson Rav Nachman of Breslov encapsulated in the saying, the whole world is like a very narrow bridge, and the most important thing is not to be scared. Acknowledging that, yes, it's a dark, gloomy, it's a dreary reality that we see, especially now with the news flowing in at all paces, at all times, at all speeds. I mean, so much negativity in the world you can choose to focus on. But the important thing is not to be scared and not to take God out of the picture, and to know that God granted each of us with an intellect, and if we choose to use it properly, we can really focus, we can really shift our reality into a positive dimension. I make a joke that nowadays when you get to heaven, they go like this: www.espn.com, and then they go www.facebook.com, and the guy goes, I don't get it. Where's my? I kept Shabbos. I put on to fill in. Where I gave charity. Where's my? What are you reading off? So they say that intellect is the most powerful thing ever given to man, and when God gave man intellect, ever since the internet came along, we can see exactly how man chooses to use his intellect. So when you're on the internet and when you have what they call free time, and it's a very interesting concept, by the way. People a lot of times are funny. They get home from work, all of a sudden they're in this oasis of time. It's theirs, and if you have a family, it's family time. But the man tends to think that like now he's off, and like when you're in a service, when you're in a relationship with God and you're serving God, there's no off time. There's no downtime. Every moment is precious. It says in Yom Yom that a, a winter's night and a summer's day, this is like a whole year. Time must be guarded like a precious the precious entity that it is. And you have so much time, and you have such a beautiful brain. You can all literally at any level you are, we can delve into these deep secrets of the universe and in service of God, and make our experience that much more meaningful, that much more powerful, that much more decisive, that much more productive, that much more fruitful. The power is in our hands, and we can choose to channel it any way we want. If you want to sit from this Yud Tes Kislev into another Yud Tes Kislev to next Yud Tes Kislev and tell me how the playoffs went in the NFL, nothing's going to stop you. You have access to now. You can record them. You can look at the stats on them. If you want to tell me how the World Series played out, nothing's going to stop you. Anything you want to tell me, you probably could because you have access to the information. If you want to tell me what it says in Hemshech Samach Vav, also nothing will stop you. It's one of the deepest. They're starting to translate piece by piece now. One of the deepest bits of Chassidus ever drawn down by the Rebbe Rashab, in the year 56. But anyway, so I encourage you to use this day. It's an auspicious time, and this is the thing about auspicious days. They come and go. If you don't utilize them, they just come and go. But if you yourself dedicate just a certain amount of time within this day to sit by yourself or with a group of friends and to say, what can I be doing better? How can I be leading a more productive life? How can I be more positively focused? How can I affect others more positively? God grants a special assistance from above. That's why it's called an auspicious time. And we bless each other. Shana Tova b'limud the Chassidus v'darchei Chassidus. You have a good year in the learning of Chassidic doctrine and in the acting of Chassidic doctrine, which means above what's required. The whole concept of Chassidus is, a Chassid is called a pious. Even Adam Rishon has applied this term Chassid. It's something pious. He does above what's required of him. God tells you the mitzvahs you have to do. And a Chassid is someone who tries to surprise God, to try to find ways to serve God in the above the norm, above what's required. He goes to mikveh, he keeps a certain level. The knife should be so sharp when he does shchita, when he does ritual slaughtering. He tries to keep a chalav Yisrael and pas Yisrael, kashrus. It's going above and beyond the letter of the law, and to infuse the reality with a spiritual smear, with a spiritual slant. So I encourage you to use this day, and I'm open to all comments via personal message. If there's something I didn't touch on, you want to touch on more, please don't be shy. And may God Almighty grant us all a good, sweet new year in the learning of Chassidic doctrine and the expounding Chassidic doctrine. Well, the Alter Rebbe says, by the way, in the Shem at this point can have many Gilgulim, many transmigrations, just to come down to be Mechadish, a new part of Torah, to expound a new insight in Torah. So without you first knowing what it already says, it's going to be very hard to do this. I encourage everyone should do it. Any Torah thought that pops into your mind, delve into it and write it down and even record it for future generations so we can build off it. But you also have to have